This is Miss D. Welcome back to the Miss D in the Lifestyle channel. Today we're continuing our conversation about community development financial institutions, better known as CDFIs. This is part two. So before we go into that, please take a moment to hit that like button and subscribe to this channel if you find the content is helpful to you. I thank you in advance. In part one, we discussed what CDFIs are and why they exist. Today, we're answering the next important question. How do you prepare your business before approaching one? I'll give you 4 to 6 steps to get you ready, because here's something every entrepreneur needs to understand. Access to funding is not just about finding someone willing to lend money. It's about building a business that demonstrates preparation, organization, and responsibility. Proverbs 31:5 reminds us that diligent planning leads to increase. That principle applies not only to our personal lives, but also to how we manage and steward our businesses. So today, let's talk about what preparation actually looks like, because there's something every entrepreneur needs to understand. Access to funding is not just about finding someone to willingly lend you money. It's about building a business that demonstrates preparation, organization, and responsibility. So today, let's talk about what preparation actually looks like. Funding follows preparation. One of the biggest misunderstandings about business funding is believing that funding is the starting point. Many entrepreneurs think if I could just get the money, then I could build a business. But in many cases, the process works differently. The foundation you build today can determine the opportunities available to you tomorrow. A lender, whether it is a traditional bank, a CDFI, or another financial institution, is usually asking a simple question. Can this business responsibly manage the capital we provide? They are evaluating preparation. They want to understand the business. They want to understand the owner. They want to understand the plan. They want to see whether there is a structure in place to support growth. So before you ask someone else to invest resources into your business, you want to ask, have I properly invested the time and structure into my own business? Point number 1, establish your business identity. The first area of preparation is your business identity. Your business needs to be clearly established, and that starts with understanding your legal structure. If you have formed an LLC, your LLC should have proper documentation, including your formation paperwork, your operating agreement, okay? You know your operating agreement is important because it explains how your business operates. It outlines the ownership and the management and the internal procedures. So think of this document as the foundation of your business house. Before you decorate the rooms, you need the structure. You also want to make sure you have your employee identification number, your EIN, which identifies your business for tax and financial purposes. And then make sure your business information is consistent. Your business name, address, phone number, and records should all match. Why does this matter? Because consistency builds credibility. When information is scattered or inaccurate, it can create questions. When information is organized and consistent, it creates confidence. Point number 2, separate your personal and your business finances. One of the most important steps in building a fundable business is separating your personal finance from your business finances. A business should have its own business bank account. This allows you to track income, expenses, financial activity clearly. If personal and business finances are mixed together, it becomes much harder to understand the true financial picture of the business. And a lender wants clarity. They want to see how money comes in and how it goes out. They want to understand whether the business can support repayment. Good financial habits are not just about getting approved for funding, they are about becoming a better business owner. Point number 3, know your numbers. This is where many entrepreneurs become uncomfortable because understanding your numbers is a necessary part of business ownership. You do not need to be a financial expert, but you should understand basic information about your business, like how much revenue does your business generate? And what are your monthly expenses? What does it cost to provide your product or service? Are you profitable? And how much funding do you actually need? How will that funding help the business grow? Many business owners make the mistake of saying, I need as much money as I can get, but strategic business owners think differently. They ask, what amount of funding helps me accomplish the next stage of growth responsibly? That is a different mindset. Funding should have an assignment, and every dollar should have a purpose. Step number 4, building your business story. A CDFI is often interested in understanding the bigger picture of your business. They want to know the story behind the numbers. Why did you start this business? Who do you serve in this business? What problem are you solving? How does your business impact your customers or your community? This is where a business plan becomes valuable. Your business plan does not have to be complicated, but it should clearly communicate your vision and direction. A strong business plan answers, where are you now? Where are you going? How will funding help you get there? Remember, clarity creates confidence. If you cannot clearly explain your business, it becomes difficult for someone else to understand why they should support it. Point number 5, understand credit and responsibility. Another part of preparation is understanding your financial reputation. Some CDFIs may look beyond traditional lending requirements, but that does not mean financial responsibility does not matter. Your personal credit, your business credit, your payment history, and your overall financial habits may still be considered. This connects back to our conversation about net 30 accounts and building business credibility. Small steps matter. Paying bills on time matters. Managing accounts responsibly matters. Keeping accurate records matters. The habits you create in small areas prepare you for larger opportunities. In Luke 16:10, it says, whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much. And this is a principle of stewardship. How we manage what we have today prepares us for what we may receive tomorrow. Point number 6, research the right CDFI. Not every lender is the right fit for your business. CDFIs can serve different purposes. Some focus on startups, some focus on established businesses, some focus on certain communities or industries. Before applying, research, ask questions, learn about their programs, find out what documents they require, and understand their processes. Preparation saves time, and it helps you approach the conversation with confidence. Here are some common mistakes to avoid. Let's discuss a few mistakes entrepreneurs often make. The first mistake is waiting until there is an emergency to look for funding. Preparation should happen before pressure arrives. The second mistake is applying everywhere without understanding requirements. More applications do not always create better results. A targeted approach is usually a wiser approach. And the third mistake is not keeping records. Your records tell the story of your business. Keep them organized. The fourth mistake is expecting funding to solve every problem. Funding can support growth, but it cannot replace structure. Money placed into a disorganized business often creates bigger challenges. Build the foundation first and make sure it's sure and secure. Now, your action steps this week should be first, gather your core business documents. Second, review your business banking and your financial records. Third, write down exactly why your business needs funding and how you would use it. And fourth, research at least one CDFI that serves your area or your industry. Small, consistent steps create progress. So today, we're learning that preparing for a CDFI begins long before completing an application. It begins with the structure. It begins with organization. It begins with understanding your business. In our next lesson, we're going to discuss what lenders may look for when reviewing your business and how you can begin thinking about the lenders from the lender's perspective. Because the goal is not just to find funding. The goal is to build a business that is prepared for opportunity. This is Miss D in the lifestyle. We believe information creates confidence, and preparation creates opportunity, and stewardship creates legacy. Remember, don't just build a business that's ready for opportunity. Until next time, this is Miss D. Peace out.